there's a number of seeds we can go ahead and sow out in our backyard raised bed. Last week I showed you all the seeds we should go ahead and sow inside to get a jump start on the spring. This week I'm going to go ahead and show you all the seeds we can go ahead and sow directly in the garden. So let's get going. Alright, so first out of the gate is going to be some beets. I'm going to do two different kinds. So we're going to do some Detroit dark red and some golden. Alright, with beets, about a 1/4 inch deep. You want about 4 to 6 inches spacing, and that's 55 to 60 days till it comes to maturity. Well, these beet seeds are a little different than your typical. As you can tell, they're kind of bigger. 1/4 inch deep, right? Just draw a yellow line. Let's go ahead and do the golden beets. If there's a couple that fall in, spaced closer than 4 to 6, that's okay. We'll come and thin them out. Alright, so next up all we've got to do is kind of cover them up. And we'll come back and water them in at the end. Alright, so next up, broccoli. So I got from seedsnow.com. Got some Sow broccoli. I don't normally plant a whole lot of brassicas this time of the year because I'm just kind of worried about when the spring comes after 3/10, I think is the date now for this year. 30% chance of having a frost or freeze. I want to be able to go ahead and put all my tomatoes, my peppers, all that stuff out at that point. Now with broccoli, you want about 1/8 of an inch. They're pretty small seeds. You want to go ahead and go with some 18 to 24 inch between each. This is 3 foot, so I could put one here and here. That's about 16 inches apart. If you have like a 4x5 bed or something like that, you can squeeze them together a little bit closer. The harvest may not be as great, but if you got really good soil, the Mel's mix you've heard me talk about, the 1/3 sphagnum peat moss, the 1/3 vermiculite, and a 1/3 of blend of compost, 3 to 5, then you have a better chance of being able to have a good harvest. But let's go ahead and I'm going to put 2 right here back to back. Again, 1/8 of an inch, almost surface sow. These are so small. I'm going to drop a couple here. Just kind of throw a little bit on top of it. And then back here, you just want to barely dust it over it. Alright, so we got them sowed in. We'll be good to go. Alright, so I'm going to go with some Chinese cabbage. A Hilton is the type. Hilton Chinese cabbage, so it's going to be about a 1/4 inch deep on the seed. You want a good 12 inches at least between each plant. And you can harvest in like 60 to 80 days, somewhere in that range. Let's go ahead and sow these Hilton Chinese cabbage in this spot right here. Alright, so I got my case here. Go ahead and get this out. This is my Asian greens, that's what I call this one. It's got bok choy and other stuff in it along with this Chinese cabbage. Alright, got that one. We'll put this one about right here. Alright, we're good to go. Just got to water it in. And we'll have some Chinese cabbage before you know it. It takes about 60 to 80 days, I think, to harvest. You can harvest it earlier, it's smaller. Still good. Nevertheless, you want to... Hey, look, if you find this information useful, do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe, like that video, and feel free to share it with your family and friends. So now let's get back to the sowing seeds in January video. Alright, next up is going to be some carrots. So I got some Amarillo, which are yellow carrots. I got some Snow White. I've done the Amarillo numerous times. They grow great here in my garden. Snow White, I haven't grown it yet. So let's go with some carrots, Snow White, along with some Amarillo yellows. And I'm just going to put a little row right along here and right here. So the carrot seeds about 1/8 of an inch deep. They're pretty small seeds. You want to give them at least a couple inches of spacing between each. And you're looking at like 70, 75 days or so till you can harvest them. You can pull them sooner. They're smaller, of course, but 70 to 75 days is what they recommend from a full maturity harvest. All right, so we'll go with this Snow White back here, and we'll go with some Amarillo up front. All right, Snow White. Kind of see what they look like. They're pretty small. And again, you're looking for 1 to 2 inch spacing. I'll obviously overseed and come back and hand pick the ones I want to kind of keep. Maybe 1 or 2 more. You know, and kind of thin them out. The ones that are growing better, a little better spacing, that kind of thing. All right. And then the Amarillo. This is actually a free gift from Baker Creek or rareseeds.com. But once you buy a certain level, a certain amount, they give you some free seeds. So we'll go with some of this Amarillo. I've always been happy with these. They grow great here. They're yellow and flavorful. All right, the next seeds we're going to go ahead and sow. Vienna grown kohlrabi. This is a purple Vienna. Try it out, man. It grows. It's kind of like a big cylinder that grows out of the ground, and the root is kind of above ground, so it's really pretty cool looking. So let's go ahead and do a few of these. All right, you want to go about 1/8 of an inch deep. These seeds are pretty small. All right, and spacing is going to be about 6 inches between each plant. And you're looking at 65, 70 days before you get to full maturity. You can take it whenever you want it. It's tasty. Let's try this one. All right, so next up is going to be lettuce. I'm going to do some winter density right here, butter crunch right here, and these are more the romaine type of lettuces. This is a rocky top lettuce, more of a leaf lettuce kind of thing. So it can take anywhere from 45 to 80 days. I mean, just depends on what kind of lettuce it is. So you can go ahead and harvest some of the leaves early, and it's not going to hurt the plant really that bad. So you want to surface sow 1/8 of an inch at the most. You want to anywhere between 2 inches maybe and 6 inches. I mean, for the romaine lettuce, you may want to go another 6 to 12, but it's probably not necessary, especially if you got the right kind of soil. So let's go ahead and sow these. So this is the butter crunch lettuce from seedsnow.com. Let's try these out. All I'm doing is just kind of barely dusting over the top of it. They'll be fine. Winter density here in the back. Again, you barely want to cover them. 1/8 of an inch, surface sow for the most part lettuce. Now, lettuce does have to have light to germinate, which is interesting. Different than most plants or most seeds, you don't have to have light, but you definitely have to have light for lettuce. And finally, we'll go ahead and throw some of this leaf lettuce in here. I mean, I don't even really have to be that neat with it. And this is a blend. This is like rocky top lettuce, so it's, You can tell it's speckled, it's got green, it's got the full red. Well, I'm just going to kind of sprinkle it in here. As it comes up, we'll harvest it. You basically surface sow it, 1/8 of an inch at the most. That's good to go. And we're going to have lettuce here, here, and here. Leaf lettuce and more romaine bunch lettuce in these 2 spots. And these do great in containers as well. All right, next up is going to be Swiss chard. So I got this 5-color silver beet, and I got an Oreo orange. I'll go with the 5-color silver beet. These things are prolific here in my garden. All you need is 1 or 2. I mean, that's more Swiss chard you can have to harvest. So let's go ahead and sow these guys in. So Swiss chard, you want about 1/4 inch deep. They kind of look like the beet seeds. You want to space them about 6 to 8 inches apart, 45 to 55 days till you're ready to harvest. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with a couple of these, right? These things, like I said, are prolific. I think I'll put one about right here, and I'm gonna squeeze down this way. Drop a few in here. Give them one more just for good measure. And there you go. You got some Swiss chard going. This organizational system, oh man, I can't even tell you how good it is. All right, the final, I'm gonna put 2 little rows of radishes, purple plum radishes at that. 1/8 of an inch, you know, almost surface sow. These are small seeds. Get them all out. And your spacing can be pretty close together, a couple inches. No more than like 1 or 2 inches apart. They grow very fast. When you're looking at like 25, 28, 25 to 30 days before maturity. So these can happen really fast. I don't eat them like in salads like some people like. I like to pickle them. And you can come back and thin them to whatever you'd like. So 1 or 2 inches is good, so I'm just going to barely kind of cover this up. Again, within 30 days, you're going to have some radishes you can do what you want with. So now's the time to go ahead and sow some seeds out in your backyard garden. We did some inside for our late maturing plants, but we can go ahead and sow some outside. So that's what we did today. Get a jump start on the spring now. And if you like this content, I'm going to tell you, you're going to really love my spring garden planting checklist. I'll put a link down below. And again, if you like this content, subscribe, like that video, and share it with your family and friends. And remember, this is Louisiana Simple Living, where we help you achieve a bountiful harvest, delicious food, and healthy living. And as always, I will see you on the next video.